Hi there, and welcome back to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial, where I'm going to be teaching you, yes, you, Algebra 1. And in this video, we're going to be looking at lesson number 5, which deals with percents. And it says you should recall the percent to decimal and decimal to percent conversions shown in the table below. These will be used quite often with exponential functions. So before we actually get into exponential functions, we just want to make sure that we're familiar with how to convert percents and what percents are. So let's take a look at this table here where it says if we're converting from a decimal to a percent, we want to multiply the number by 100. So for example, if we had 42 hundredths, we'd multiply that by 100 and that would be 42%. If we're converting from a percent to a decimal, on the other hand, then we're going to divide by 100. So if we have 6% and we want that as a decimal, we divide that by 100 and we're going to get 0.06 or 6 hundredths. So in exercise number 1, we want to convert the following decimals to percents. So decimals to percents is multiplying each one of these by 100. So if we multiply each one of these by 100, we're going to get 75% in part A. If we multiply 0.03 times 100, we're going to get 3% there. 0.4 is the one that's tricky because once people get the hang of how to convert to a percent, they look at that and they might think it's 4%, but that's not the case because when we multiply by 100 here, you will in fact get 40%. So be careful with ones that look like that without the zero on the end. But if we were to add that zero on the end, it wouldn't change how it looks. Now we have 1.25, or 1 1/4. And multiplying by 100 is going to do what to this? Well, our trick for multiplying by 100, if you haven't noticed from these first three, is that it really just moves the decimal place twice to the right. So if we move this decimal place once, twice, we get 125%. Same thing over here. If we're multiplying these by 100, we're going to move this decimal place once, twice to the right, and that's going to put the decimal place right in between the 1 and the 5 for 1.5 or 1.5%. We can move this decimal place to multiply by 100. It's going to move our decimal place twice to the right, and we're going to have 0.2%. Now, if we're using that decimal point trick, that decimal point at the 3 is right after the 3. So if we move it twice to the right, we have two empty loops right there. And inside those empty loops, each get a 0. So 3 is really 300%. And finally, 1.02 times 100 would give us 102%. So in exercise number 1 for parts A through H, it was a quick review, hopefully review, of converting decimals to percents. And the way we do that is we multiply by 100. And if this was helpful in converting decimals, give this video a thumbs up, and you're now ready for exercise number 2. Thank you for watching.